The Rhea Ripley vs. Liv Morgan feud has officially overstayed its welcome. Throughout 2024, the rivalry between Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan has taken center stage on Monday Night Raw, fueled by their intense competition for both the affection of Dominic Mysterio and the coveted Women's World Championship. While long-term feuds have become a hallmark of the Triple H creative era in WWE, this particular storyline seems to have overstayed its welcome and is in dire need of closure. The genesis of this feud dates back to the post-WrestleMania episode of Raw when Liv Morgan launched a surprise attack on Rhea Ripley. This initial confrontation ignited a bitter rivalry that has since played out in various segments and matches. However, as months have passed, it's evident that the storyline lacks the freshness and intrigue that typically accompany a captivating feud. The back-and-forth exchanges have become repetitive, and the overall narrative has lost its initial spark, making it increasingly clear that it's time for this storyline to reach its conclusion. One of the significant turning points in this feud came with Rhea Ripley's injury. This unforeseen circumstance forced WWE to pivot its storyline, allowing Liv Morgan to step into the spotlight.
If you love your father, then subscribe the channel, and those who love me show your love by liking and subscribing.
During Ripley's absence from the ring, Morgan seized the opportunity to further develop her heel persona. With Ripley sidelined, Morgan's character transformation became one of the highlights of her tenure in WWE. Morgan's rise to prominence was also marked by her successful pursuit of Dominic Mysterio, effectively taking him away from Ripley. The conflict surrounding Dominic's allegiance added a compelling layer to the storyline, enhancing the drama between the two women. Their rivalry was intensified by the emotional stakes involved, as Morgan's manipulation of Dominic presented a unique storyline angle. However, much of this character development occurred during the time Ripley was away from WWE programming due to her injury. The situation took a more serious turn following WrestleMania 40, when Liv Morgan attacked Rhea Ripley, inadvertently injuring her and forcing her to vacate the Women's World Championship. This shocking moment injected a renewed sense of urgency and animosity into the feud. Morgan had something tangible to boast about. Not only did she win the title during this heated exchange, but she also gained the upper hand in their personal rivalry. This turn of events added significant depth to Morgan's character, allowing her to transition into a more ruthless, dominant figure in the women's division. Had the storyline proceeded as originally intended, with Ripley holding the championship and Morgan eventually dethroning her, it's possible that the narrative would have unfolded in a more traditional manner. However, the unexpected turn of events and the way Morgan capitalized on the situation brought a refreshing twist to the rivalry. This not only showcased Morgan's ability to adapt, but also highlighted her strengths as a performer capable of carrying the weight of the storyline on her shoulders. Despite these intriguing developments, the feud now feels repetitive. The same segments are being recycled, and the anticipation for the next chapter has dwindled. The once exciting rivalry has become predictable, with fans eagerly awaiting a resolution that seems increasingly elusive. Both competitors are talented enough to shine in other storylines, and it might be in the best interest of the women's division to allow them to move on to new challenges. In conclusion, while the Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan feud has provided some memorable moments and significant character development, it is clear that the storyline has run its course. The narrative has become stagnant, and fans are ready for a resolution. With both athletes capable of exploring new storylines and rivalries, it's time for WWE to pivot away from this prolonged feud and allow Ripley and Morgan to pursue fresh opportunities within the company. Ending this storyline would not only benefit the competitors involved, but also the women's division as a whole, allowing for new narratives and rivalries to flourish. Liv Morgan's pursuit of Dominic Mysterio marked a pivotal turn in a rivalry with Rhea Ripley, leading to some standout character performances from both competitors. During Ripley's absence from the ring, Morgan capitalized on the situation, intensifying her heel persona as she engaged in flirtation and potential romantic entanglements with Mysterio. This subplot not only added depth to Morgan's character but also built significant anticipation for Ripley's eventual return. Fans were left wondering how Ripley would react to the ongoing flirtation and the budding relationship between Morgan and Mysterio. However, when Ripley finally made her return, the feud began to lose momentum. The excitement surrounding Ripley's comeback quickly gave way to a more simplistic and predictable narrative. The creative team had been forced to pivot and devise inventive storytelling during Ripley's absence, but her return seemingly stripped the storyline of its complexity. What was once a dynamic feud became stale, with the weekly storytelling lacking the intrigue that had characterized the earlier phases of their rivalry. One of the most telling signs that the feud was faltering came from the realization that the most engaging moments occurred when Morgan and Ripley were not directly interacting. During Ripley's time away, the storyline flourished as Morgan's character evolved, and her relationship with Mysterio added layers to the drama. The tension and uncertainty surrounding Ripley's response created a palpable buzz among fans, who were eager to see how the conflict would unfold. However, once Ripley returned, the storytelling shifted to a more conventional approach. The feuding dynamics that had initially captivated audiences transformed into a formulaic back and forth, lacking the compelling twists and turns that had made their rivalry so engaging. Instead of capitalizing on the rich character developments that occurred during Ripley's absence, the storyline fell into repetitive patterns that failed to hold the audience's attention. Ultimately, the Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan feud showcases the importance of maintaining momentum in storytelling, especially in wrestling, where character evolution and audience engagement are crucial. While Ripley's return was highly anticipated, it highlighted the need for creativity and innovation in storytelling. As fans crave fresh narratives, it may be time for WWE to reevaluate the direction of this rivalry and consider a resolution that allows both competitors to explore new storylines and challenges, revitalizing their characters and the women's division in the process. Liv Morgan's pursuit of Dominic Mysterio significantly enhanced her rivalry with Rhea Ripley, showcasing impressive character work from both. During Ripley's absence, Morgan's heel persona flourished, and the flirtation with Mysterio built anticipation for Ripley's return. Fans were eager to see how Ripley would react to this developing romance. However, when Ripley returned, the feud lost its edge. The creative team had successfully navigated Ripley's absence with intriguing storytelling, but her comeback shifted the narrative to a more simplistic approach. The interactions became predictable, lacking the depth and excitement that characterized earlier segments. Ironically, the most engaging moments occurred when Morgan and Ripley weren't directly interacting. The creative team had successfully navigated Ripley's absence with intriguing storytelling, but her comeback shifted the narrative to a more simplistic approach. The interactions became predictable, lacking the depth and excitement that characterized earlier segments. Ironically, the most engaging moments occurred when Morgan and Ripley weren't directly interacting.